Well, the people of Youngstown know something about losing a cathedral to fire. 65 years ago, the old St. Columba Cathedral was destroyed, and a new one had to be built. Tonight, I take you back to the night of the fire and the days that followed. Youngstown knows what it's like to lose an historic church and then how to rebuild. St. Columba Cathedral sits on Wood Street, its facade and bell tower standing watch over downtown Youngstown. It was on this same site 65 years ago that the original St. Columba Cathedral was destroyed by fire.
The lightning struck the roof, and that's how the fire began.
Monsignor James Culp was a young priest at St. Columba when on the night of September 2nd, 1954, someone told him the cathedral was on fire. With the wood crackling, he went into the church.
Went to the tabernacle and took out the Blessed Sacrament, and then so that it was saved from any danger.
Then Bishop Emmett Walsh watched the fire, at one point being interviewed by a WKBN radio reporter. As word of the fire spread, a large crowd had gathered.
And came and just watched and wept and prayed, similar to what's happening in Paris right now.
In the days that followed, more people viewed the damage. An aerial shot showed the roof completely gone, having fallen directly into the church. It was later determined the fire had been smoldering between the ceiling and roof for a while, and by the time firefighters arrived, there was no hope.
Cathedrals have burned down before. There are cathedrals that have been rebuilt 4 and 5 times because of a fire.
The decision to rebuild was made quickly. By 1958, 4 years after the fire, a new St. Columba Cathedral opened up.
That was the leadership of the church saying we have to move on and recreate our cathedral.
One of the relics saved from the old church was the head of the statue of St. Joseph, which is today on display at St. Columba. All these years later, though, the fire is mentioned only in times like these. But back then, it was a big deal.
Well, emotionally, I think it was one of the greatest fires because it was a symbol of the Catholic Christian faith for tens of thousands of people here in the Mahoning Valley.
Bishop Murray pointed out the similarities between the fires at St. Columba and Notre Dame. They're strikingly similar in that both started in the roofs, which, though covered by plaster, were constructed mostly by wood. And it was the wood in both cases that burned.